Morning everyone. I'm really excited to be doing my second video. I've been asking you guys some of the things that you want to see, or maybe something that you want to know that I do that's part of my regular makeup tutorial. Someone reached out and asked about contouring and just generally what I use on my skin. So that's what I'm going to be showing you this morning. So I'm going to start out by saying you guys see a lot of photos. Obviously, I pretty much do a selfie every single day. My skin is not perfect at all. I have a lot of red areas and things like that. So I didn't want anybody to think that you have to have perfect skin to look good in photos, because you definitely don't. I still get acne and all kinds of stuff. So don't think that this is not achievable if you don't have a perfect complexion. The first step in any skin routine is obviously going to be foundation. The foundation that I use is Fenty. I've been totally addicted to it since Rihanna came out with it. I use shade 7M01. This is going to be the base. This is what we're going to start with. For the most part, my face is done. I did my cheeks already with foundation, and my chin, my nose, my other cheek. So what's left is just the forehead, so I'm going to show you that now. So when I do my foundation, I also use this. It's from Revolution. It's in shade Champagne. It's basically just a liquid highlighter, and I combine it with my foundation when I put it on, and it just kind of gives you a nice glowing look. I'm totally addicted to it. I love it. I just found it recently, and I found this at Ulta. It's less than $20. So this comes in kind of a syringe, so you would just unscrew it and then basically pinch. I'm going to pull some of the product out. This also tends to get away very quickly. Like if you squeeze it, I've had it before where it's like literally like shoots out of the bottle. So just be really careful when you're squeezing this. I've got my foundation ready to go. Careful of the eyebrows, those are super important. You know, it's different to see it on video versus seeing it in person, but really in person there's such a nice glow that this liquid highlight provides. I highly recommend this stuff. So now I just have foundation and the liquid highlighter just all over my face. That's the only thing on it. Make sure you scrub before. You can just use an exfoliant and then moisturize before as well. So the next step for contouring is going to be highlighting. I'm a really big fan of Tarte. It's a contour concealer. You can pick it up at Ulta. It's somewhere, I know it's less than 20 bucks. I don't know how much exactly it is, but you're going to want to get a tone that's a couple shades lighter than your actual skin tone. So the color that I'm using is just called Light. So now I have my wand ready to go. I'm just going to dot underneath the eyes. I'm going to go down the bridge of my nose, right on the upper lip, some on the chin, and then right below the cheekbones here. Great, so now that I have my war paint done, we're going to go ahead and blend. And I just have a beauty blender. These are super inexpensive. You can get them anywhere. And you're just going to tap and blend it in. Really trying to define the cheekbone here. And already you can definitely see the definition and the shape kind of coming to life. Right, so I have all my highlight nice and blended. You can definitely see the difference between what's already been done. You can see that it's a little bit brighter in certain areas. That's exactly what we want. So our next step is going to be adding some definition. So we're going to be using a darker shade. So I picked this up from Ulta. It's just a face sculpting. It's the brand that they make. It's very affordable, probably somewhere between 10 and 20 bucks. And again, you want to get a shade that's darker than your actual skin tone. You can definitely see this is going to be quite a bit darker than my skin tone. The areas that I'm going to be focusing on, going to be the bridge of the nose, obviously the cheekbones, the brow line, along the chin, and then lately I've been adding this area as well, totally optional to you. You can do this 100 ways. I see girls do more or less like polka dots on their face, anything that makes sense to you. You can also buy the Tarte product that I showed you earlier if you wanted more of like a creamy product. Now we're going to be blending in the darker areas. You can use a beauty blender. I have this brush that I really like to use. It's just a large tapered brush. So I'm just going to start blending it. And then pretty soon you'll be starting to see some definition of the darker areas. Cheekbone is like my favorite to blend. Watch this magic. Oh shit, look at that. So now we're just blending all of the darker areas in. Push it back into your hairline. Check that shit out. Yeah, right, so I'm totally blended in. You can definitely see the difference in the skin color, the tones, and all of that. Now we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so I have to admit that I do my contouring a little bit different than most of the videos that you're going to see out there. Makeup is all about what makes sense for you and what you think looks good. So normally at this point you would apply a translucent powder over everything you just did and you would pretty much be done. You can buy these. I have a hard candy one that I picked up just from a drugstore, probably somewhere around 10 bucks. I have used this product and I'm not super comfortable with it. I just don't feel like I have a finished look. So I'm going to show you what I do, but you can definitely do this in lieu of what I'm doing now. My next step is I'm going to be using a MAC Studio Finish powder. I just feel like this totally completes my look. It gives me a more even skin color and all of that good stuff. Again, it's not traditional. But it's all about what you're comfortable with. And if you guys like what you see with what I do, this is what I do. I just have a regular deluxe angled brush here that I'm using. The one area that I avoid is kind of that cheekbone definition. I don't want to lose that, so I don't really do any powder in that area. But I certainly just go under the eyes. I still feel like I have the definition from the colors that we used before. But again, this is not the traditional way of contouring. And I'm a full coverage girl, so I pretty much put makeup on every inch. Okay, so I'm totally done with everything I'm going to put as far as coverage goes on my face. The last step is going to be doing a bronzer or a blush. A lot of people do both. I found this fabulous palette at Ulta. It is just one of their beauty products. It's got the bronzer, it's got a highlighter, and it's got some blush. I'm just gonna swirl all of these guys together. I like a little more bronze. Personally, I'm not a big blush person. And then we're just going to add it on to the cheekbones for sure. I'm just using a big fluffy brush. That is the best way to apply this stuff. Look at that cheekbone. So I'm also going to apply it just to the temples of my forehead. Boom. We are done. Last but not least, because we just don't have enough shimmer on our face yet, we are going to do a highlighter. MAC makes these in a couple different shades. This is more of some goldy tones. I've used one of theirs that, I don't know, it reminds me of a unicorn. It's just beautiful. I'm so obsessed with their highlight. So we're just going to apply this to the top of the cheekbone there. Down the bridge of the nose. I always put a little on the upper lip. Done. And the final product.